Hello and welcome, Knuckle Remain here with. Now, as you can see from the intro that I cut short, I had a different plan from this whole thing. Initially, it was going to be um better execution of my thoughts in relation to Venus theory, but then I kept adding more and more people, and then came up with that cluster of that bit of a cluster that you've seen in the intro. And no, I'm not going to do that, especially since that's going to make things very hard to follow. And I would admit, watching my video playing back, it was difficult to follow. So how do I actually get this organized? My thoughts on modern music, my perspective. How do I present it out to you, the public? Well, the answer came surprisingly easy, which was one of the people, well, two of the people actually, which will be Andy Edwards and T.G. Venom. Now, T.G. Venom had actually said something interesting, made some great points, Let's make good music mainstream again. And I agree with him, Let's make good music mainstream again, because the majority of music that is mainstream is pretty mediocre. But of course, there's some of the videos by Andy Edwards. One of his videos, what does he say? Well, it's pretty simple. He says that yes, there is good music out there, but the thing is, like, if you're invested in music or have a strong interest in music, yeah, there is music out there for you, but the average person does not really care, which is unfortunately true. There's a lot of different reasons, and this video will go on and on for hours if I go into each individual reason why, but the short of it is that, yeah, the average person does not care about quality music. This actually was part of the lyrics of that famous Andre 3000 song, and Outkast, I should be saying that, yeah, famous Outkast song that Andre 3000 has said in the lyrics, which is that of the song Hey Ya. A lot of people already talked about this, how part of the lyrics is that, yeah, a lot of you don't really care what's being said, you just want to get up and dance, you know? And in a strange and sad way, this is true of the average person. They don't care about the lyrics, they don't care about what underlying meaning the song has, and they don't even care about the quality. But of course, surprisingly enough, Andy Edwards goes further. Hence his video where he talks about the 10 nails in the coffin of rock music. And at some point in that video, he also, I forget if it's that video or his video where he talks about what he calls the 11th nail, which is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In one of those videos, he says how it's similar with hip hop, Hip hop, there's a high art to hip hop, but we don't see that in the mainstream, And in a sense, it goes back to, I think it was Snoop Dogg that had said it in an interview, where you got people who are biting and mumbling, and that's it. You don't really hear someone's unique story, unique take, or if such a thing happens, oftentimes that person is either shoved underground, as T.G. Venom points out, or, well, as something that I've said previously, it ends up becoming just some niche entertainment. Something that has also been debunked in a sense, which I will get into as well. Now, of course, though, I said 11 nails and such, but at the title that I opened with, it says 12 nails and a spear. What do I mean by that? Well, as I see it, there are 12 nails in the coffin of not just rock music, not just the high art of hip hop, but a lot of the music that's basically kept underground, Obviously, I'm going to argue that it's not dead, but as far as the average person, public perception goes, it's non existent, which is an unfortunate thing. Which is where I get into what I call the spear of destiny that keeps music dead. at least in the public. And that's where things get complicated, which relates heavily to the cluster that I referenced before, In a sense, when it comes to this Spear of Destiny, Rick Beato has talked about this in a way. And surprisingly enough, even people who don't talk about music do talk about other media, and in a sense, it relates to this spear, such as MatPat, for example. Hence why, if you were to look at the intro, you'd see that, yeah, one of the videos was MatPat ranting about the whole thing with the Try Guys. And if you want to hurry things along to find out what that Spear of Destiny is, well, there you go. But yeah, whenever someone goes to pry off the nails of any form of music and brings back what makes the music great, or even better, experiments to create something new and interesting, that Spear of Destiny is tossed and that idea is struck down. And yet those of us who enjoy it end up being like this great necromancer is just trying to keep the thing from dying. So we are all the necromancers of music. But yeah, that is a summary of thoughts. I am definitely going to go through Andy Edwards' videos, go into each nail, and talk about it. Some videos are going to be 2 nails or 3 nails at a time, while other videos that I do in the future will focus on one specific nail. As well as the 12th nail, which seems to be danced around but not really spoken directly of. And of course, I will go into greater detail about the Spear of Destiny that keeps music from rising above mediocrity, at least for the average person. Like I said, I could say a lot more, but it would be a cluster, it would be disorganized, and for some people it'll take too long. Matter of fact, if I ever to start streaming and talk about this in a stream, that stream could go on for a good 6 hours minimum. I'd say 12 hours maximum, maybe 13 hours. There's a lot there and a lot to condense, so it isn't difficult to understand. So until that video is done, I am Neko Vermillion, and I thank you for watching.